So I was messing around with the biome we made last episode, and I found something really cool that I want to try and use. Here, listen closely. I'll max out the sounds. There's background noise. We can actually add sounds automatically. Oh yeah, there's an alley sound, even though there's no alley right next to me. There's also like a chime sound. Yeah, right there. So we can actually make sounds be automatically triggered just by being present in a biome. We don't have to use command blocks. I don't have any in my inventory. I'm sure you've noticed, like pretty much any YouTuber that you watch has their music totally and completely off. And there's a few reasons for that. Sometimes it's copyright. Sometimes it is the fact that music can sort of get cut off because it's like a longer sound. But you know what doesn't have that problem? Ambient noises. Bird chirps, the wind blowing through the trees, stuff like that. So I have a really old pack. It may or may not work. I'm curious. Can we even see any? Oh, they're right here. Okay. Okay, that works. Yeah, so we have sounds. Now, as a simple test, I have copied the default forest into this data pack, the ambient sounds data pack. Except for there's one change, and that's in this forest, it will periodically play that bird sound, hopefully. Okay, I've been standing here a while and I haven't heard anything. I'm gonna turn on subtitles just in case it's not audible. Okay, this is weird. I can't get it to find my sound. Yeah, that was the sound. Yeah, and it shows up over here. You can hear that kind of grumble in the background. I put the ambient cave noise on loop. Yeah, you can kind of hear it. So we could potentially do that with the bird sounds. That's kind of what I was getting at. If we could just figure out how these sounds play. Yes. Okay, so now it's playing repeatedly. Oh man, okay. That actually took a lot of effort. There's a line in the biome file that looks like this. Well, actually, normally it doesn't have the sound ID. So I was like, oh, this is probably how you do it. Well, you have to specify a sound ID, even though this is specified in a different sound file elsewhere. But anyways, so we can hear the bird sound playing repeatedly. It's starting to get annoying. But you also notice it's raining and the bird sound is still playing, which is a little weird. Birds tend to be a little bit quieter when it's raining. They sort of go into the trees and stop chirping, unless it's like light rain or something, but we'll just assume this is heavy rain. So we might need a way to modify when the sound can play. So this is kind of dumb, but we're going to need to use an advancement to deal with this. And what we can actually do is we can stop certain sounds. So we could stop all of these ones. Boom. But what we're going to have to see is, does that actually cut the sound off or does it stop it from playing like at all? All right, we have a lot of sounds going. If we reload, I still hear the noises. Oh, I heard, did you hear that? A bird like started chirping and then it got cut off. So that's kind of what I was wondering, is the sounds, did they just sort of get cut off? In the bird case, it's not the worst thing ever. That's a little weird. Hmm. Wow, that's pretty cool though. As soon as the rain stops, then the birds start going. Although we should probably add a check for night because birds aren't particularly active at night. But the reason that that was happening is this advancement is a location advancement. It triggers once a second and only once a second. But if we change it to tick, a tick advancement, then it will trigger every single tick, which does mean it's running more often, but the sounds are not coming through. I added the night check as well. Yeah, so there's no sounds poking through. I like that. That's pretty cool. Let's see if this works really well. If I sleep, as soon as it turns day, it should just immediately go. I don't hear bird sounds. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, A little too aggressive. Apparently it's stopping bird sounds right now. Ah, much better. I basically was checking the time, but I was doing an inversion. So the basic check is between 4:50, which is about a little bit after sunrise in Minecraft, and then this is before sunset. So I was doing the inverted check, and I don't know why, but it was breaking, so I had to split it up into two checks like this. But anyway, it's working now. We have sounds that are controlled by advancements. It's too bad that we couldn't make it all biome, but that was maybe too optimistic. The cool thing too is this biome over here is plains. Or wait, is this cool? Those sounds are going a long time. But wait, to stop a sound, like if I stop this, that's a harsh cutoff. Can we fade that out? I'll just play a bunch of sounds here. Hopefully we'll get a long one in there. Some of them are long and some of them are short. So there's a bunch playing there, and as we walk away, yeah, you can just barely hear it. But if I walk away, can't hear it at all. And it fades out, like it gets sort of quieter. So potentially the way to fix it is if we can give the location to the sound, then it will automatically fade out. Oh, okay. Look at this. We're forced to learn new things when we come up against problems. So you remember this is in the biome file, where there's actually an additional option here called range. So what I want to do is just set it to 1 here. And my basic hope is if we go over here to the forest, the sounds will be super, super short range. Probably too short of range is what I'm hoping. I can hear that for more than... Okay, range doesn't do what I thought it does then. Ah yes, bird sounds at night. Yeah, so there's clearly still a time issue, and I figured it out, I think. So what I wanted to check for was daytime. Right now is 19:16, but what the advancement is actually doing, I think, is it's checking for this. And it's like... that is not less than 24,000. Nice try, though. So in the advancement, I need to add period, and this will divide the whole thing by 24,000, which is the total amount of ticks in a day. And if you divide that by 24,000, you get, you guessed it, 584 was some random junk. That's definitely not 19,000, but... when I add that line in, it works anyway, so whatever. I think the calculation is more complex. There's like some daytime calculations. It's like calculating the day. It's doing extra stuff. But anyway, fix that bug. I'm fed up with range though, so we're gonna move on to something else for now. We'll probably come back to the sound stuff at the end. And I was thinking, let's do some Pokemob stuff. I want to make a partner skill. What's a partner skill, you conveniently ask, so that I can explain it to you? Well, a partner skill, I'm so glad you asked, is not working. Wait, why is it not working, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked that question. You're a valued member of this community, and I'm sure we'll get back to you in 12 to 18 business days. Well, fortunately, the answer is obvious, and it gives me an excuse to show you a new development in the Pokemob world. No longer does Pokemobs use snowballs. It actually now uses eggs. Currently they're called snag eggs, which makes sense because when we catch the mob, we get their spawn egg, right? So it's like, there's an actual like logical connection there. I don't know if I'll keep that name, but for now, that is the name for our poke egg mobs. Yeah, okay, I know nobody's laughing, it's fine. Okay, so now that he's on our team, bam, okay, look at this. What's partner skills, you asked, like 30 minutes ago, and in 12 to 18 business days I got back to you? Yeah, we get like little effects when we have said creature on our team. So right now, we are getting slow falling, if you couldn't tell. Whee! So I just drift gently down, and that is the chicken providing me with the that ability. So I was thinking, let's take a look at polar bears, because I've had kind of an idea for a while. Whoa, that is a really tiny polar bear, and that is a really huge one. So if you get too close to a mama bear and her cubs, she will attack you, right? Well, what if we have a polar bear in our party? I feel like that polar bear should defend us in maybe a similar way. I think that would be pretty cool. And so what I want to do here is actually get the data of the polar bear without dying. Data get entity at end time equals polar. Ah! Run away! So the reason that I did that is I want to see how we can mimic this behavior, because there's no like NBT that says protect baby or something. So this is the angry at. That's just a UUID of some nearby entity. So we can maybe use that. The anger time, I'm actually curious if we could use that solo to create some effects here. Yeah, I think those are the only two. So we'll go ahead and catch this polar bear. Ooh, sniped. Last one. Now I gotta craft more. This is the one potential challenge with eggs instead of snowballs. Snowballs is what we used to do. Oh, there's more polar bears over here. Nice. Snow is on demand. Whenever you need some, you just pull out a shovel and... Oh, okay, you're not friends. And eggs, while they're easy to farm, is a little bit harder to get on demand, because you have to wait for the chicken to, you know, lay an egg. Ah. Phooey. I was kind of hoping maybe there's eggs in here. It doesn't look like it. I'm going to make the highest tier of egg. We might have to do something about that. I feel like we need an on-demand way of getting these things. I like the egg theme, especially since, you know, the whole spawn egg stuff. The cool thing is this is also going to give me an opportunity to test something else. There we go. So these polar bears all have angry at. And so the question is, I just want to kind of do this in a contained area. Are they still angry at me? Because, yes. Okay. All right. That works now. Sweet. So that means we don't have to worry about angering them by catching them. Yeah, so when the anger time hits 0, it just deletes the angry at. So then my question is, if we increase the anger time, will they attack random stuff? All right, this should be, oh, that's a big zombie. This should be the perfect test arena. So we'll just spawn in the polar bear. That skeleton X should not have shot that polar bear. I'm sure he will regret that. Okay. Polar bears are weaker than I remember. I mean, he did have gold armor, but wow. Okay, maybe we need some easier targets. So what we're going to do is we're just going to spawn in the polar bear, and then we're just going to change the anger time to 100 and see if it auto-locks on to anybody. No, there's no angry at. Well, we know if anger time is 0, then angry at doesn't matter. But if we first modify anger time and then angry at... Because we can basically pull the UUID just from a zombie. So if I press this button, boom. And if we just change this to like type is not player, type is not polar bear, then it'll go for anything. So theoretically, if we reload, set the polar bear to our team, I had to temporarily increase my party size. Now, if anybody is in range, polar bear goes for him with 0 success. Is he too short for the polar bear to hit? Oh, no, he figured it out. Nice. So that definitely works. The polar bear is losing more health than I would expect. So maybe we give the polar bear some sort of resistance. And side note, this is the thing that targets what the polar bear should attack. And you'll notice if I'm standing right next to a cow, even though this cow isn't on my team, it doesn't actually detect it. And that's because it doesn't detect passive mobs. So hopefully the polar bear won't just go maul all the passive mobs. Oh, I'm a goof. I forgot I changed that tag. So now if we reload... There we go. Okay, there. Sweet. Okay, the teleport works. Nice. All right, I added in the resistance as well. And you'll notice there's no particles showing up, but as soon as we get a baddie. What in the... No. What? I'm running out of polar bears. Okay, I had to change it manually for now. All right, this is the small but mighty polar bear. You notice that he gets the particles? Oh, he only wants to attack this zombie. That's interesting. There, we'll help him out. Oh, whoops. I was typing the command. I wanted to see what the health looks like. 20. Okay, that's a lot more, so I think the resistance is working. Small but mighty. Oh, sweet. He took the aggro, too, so I can put my stuff back on. Nice. Yeah, he only starts attacking when they get within 5 blocks of me. I set it to 5. This is pretty cool to watch. I think this is a good partner skill. I like this. Okay, I think I figured out the bug. So, you know how it was like 70.84... Oh, 875? Because with mud, you sort of sink into the block a little bit, right? Okay, it's not obvious with the item, but anyway, you do. And so we needed to round up a block. So if I run this and get the storage, it says Y51, even though if we look in here, it's just Y50. And that's because it's adding 0.9 to the score. So hopefully we won't get any more teleporting like right there and then basically falling through the ground and stuff, because I think that's what happened to the other polar bear. Anyways, last thing I want to do, I was actually spamming eggs earlier before we went to get the polar bear. And 1 egg spawned 4 chickens. And I think that that is perfect because we need some eggs. So I definitely want to set this up before we need it. Come on, chickens. There we go. Passive egg generation. Perfect. Oh, I think I figured something out. Okay, so right now we have an ambient sound. You hear that cave sound? So it basically just keeps playing in a loop. But watch what happens when we cross the border. You'll remember we were having trouble fading sounds out. Like it just faded out immediately. We cross back over and it starts again. Automatically fades out. So anything in ambient sound will automatically fade out if we cross the border. Oh, there's some cool sounds in here. The trade-off is that the ambient sounds will always play. It's not like a tick chance. So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to control the sound event file. That's actually this file right here. Or technically it's inside of the sounds.json. But basically inside of this sound event, we have different sounds. So like that sound, we have this one. This one sounds a little bit longer. And so this sound event file controls which of those sounds have the highest chance of playing. But if we add an empty sound in there, then sometimes it'll just be quiet. And that could give us the randomness we want. Ah, I found an empty sound. Cod.ambient. All right, so I think we can probably use that. Okay, I gave the cod a weight of 35 and all the other 3 sounds all have a weight of 1 each. So what we'll do is we'll use this ambient sound as the background, and then we're going to play shorter sounds on top of it. You can kind of see it's like long is ambient, short is like the addition stuff that we were doing before. Why aren't they playing? What? Oh, bird short isn't on this list. If I do F3T to reload. Ah, there it is, bird short. There we go, now the sounds are kind of rolling. Cool. When we cross the border. Now sound events are even cooler than what we've been looking at here. So like if we want to play a short sound, you know, we'll get the classic 1 volume, 1 pitch. But sound events can give a random chance, or not a random chance, but a weighted chance of like, let's say we want a low pitch. There we go. I had to put it above 0.5. But yeah, we can slightly modify the pitch. That might be too extreme. Maybe something more like 0.8 or something. And we could like do double speed, which for birds actually sounds all right. So I may have went a little bit overboard. So there's 4 volume options and 4 pitch options, and I combined them all, so that's 16 options per sound file, not sound event. And bird long, for example, has 3 sound files. So 3 times 16 is some big number, like what, 40, 48, I think. And then bird short has 10 or 11? Anyways, there's definitely some randomization to these sounds for sure. So now we have a really nice variety of sounds. And if we're just walking around here, let's just listen. Oh yeah, that was a faster one. I'm noticing one sound repeating. Yeah, that sound. So that's probably the ambient sound if I had to guess. Let's go into the planes. Yeah, it stops. Oh, you know what? I think that sound file actually might just be kind of repetitive. I think it's actually different a little bit each time. Yeah, that sound, I think it's one bird making the same sound in like one long file. And it sounds the same because it's the same bird, but it's not like the sound file repeating. That is a very big cat. Yeah, because it's varying a fair bit. Yeah, I think, okay, actually, I was just crazy. It's just the same bird. It sounds repetitive because it's the same bird, but it's totally fine. Cross the border. Oh, look at that. That is really, really nice. Let's see how it does when it crosses over into nighttime. Oh, the sound just never started. Yeah, so it starts before sunset. Interesting. Which after hearing all the sounds is actually, it actually makes an impression. It's like, oh, I can hear it's nighttime. Like, that's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that. That was a really interesting prototype to do. And that was all in sound event files and the biome file that we were controlling that. So that's I like that. I'm surprised it worked that well. I mean, we don't have like perfect control over it, but I do think that they're adding additional sound things. Like the creaking heart can make a sound, so maybe we'll be able to add sounds that like can connect to blocks or something in the future. But for now, I'm pretty happy with what we did, and I think that that is going to do it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the Pokemobs and the sounds, and I hope that it was fun, a little bit of a different kind of a journey for you. And I think that that's going to do it for me. So I'll catch you in the next one.